Hi everyone, my name is Leah Kopke and I'm a 3D motion design freelancer. I also have a podcast where each week I cover another 3D modeling tool for Cinema 4D. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to go over the wax brush inside of Cinema 4D, so let's go ahead and get started. So here we are inside of Cinema 4D. The first thing I'm going to do is drop a sphere into my scene. I'll change it from standard to be a hexahedron, and I'll bump up the segments to 100. I'll hit the C hotkey in order to make this editable. You can also hit this button down here in order to do so, and that'll make it so that we can use the brush tools on here now that it's an editable object. We can also switch from our standard mode to our sculpting mode over here. I still have my sphere selected here under my objects manager, and I have my brushes over to the side here. If I'd like to add this to show up in my sculpting layers, I can go ahead and hit the subdivide button. And with that, I'll get a sculpting tag. And I can go into our sculpting layers over here. And if you want to learn more about the sculpting manager and all of that, I have another episode that goes over that, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So you'll notice that when I just click over here, we're not seeing our sphere show up right away. So what I like to do is actually click Show Layer Manager, and that'll open up that specific object within our sculpting layers. You can see our base object here, and we are good to go. Now our wax brush is right over here. You can see it over here. It's supposed to be a lot like working with clay or wax, the way it deforms the surface. It's really good for adding more material onto a surface. So I'll go ahead and click on this here, and I'll increase the strength to 200%. And if I were to just start drawing on the mesh, you can begin to see that it's just building up on the surface of it. And I can even increase this further just to make it more obvious to something like 1000. Now you can really see it a whole lot more. If I hold Control, it does the reverse and it takes away material instead of adding it. And as it adds material, it's really smoothing things out quite a bit here. Now I have 3 other episodes that go over the main sculpting tools that you'll find in these tabs. So if you want to check those out and know all of those settings, you can check them out in these videos. In this one, I'm just going to go over the ones that are unique to this sculpting brush. So I'll go back over into our settings, and you'll see that this has a few additional settings in here from what we've covered in the past. We have this option down here called wax mode, and it's unique to the wax brush. You can choose valley or flow over. Flow over, it is the mode we're on right now, and that'll just keep adding more material or taking away material regardless of what shapes around it. Valley, what that'll do is it'll try to fill in the valleys or the crevices within your model as you're sculpting and smooth things out. So it'll bring the lower surfaces up higher is actually what it does. So I think that's a pretty interesting setting there. And let's see, maybe I'll try to create a valley in here for us to fill. So you can kind of see that in there. So if we switch this over to valley, it should fill in this area and bring those lower surfaces up. So that's basically what that's for, versus flow over. It'll just build on top of everything quite a bit more. And that's really the main difference, the main unique thing about this brush. The stamp settings are the same as usual. The stencil settings are the same as usual. The modifiers, we can enable modifiers. The way modifiers work is that they layer other brush properties on top of the one you are using. So if you want to smooth while you're using the wax, you can check this box here. You can adjust the strength of the smooth over the wax brush. So now we're both smoothing things out and using the wax brush. So that's how that's working there. Draw, we'll use the draw brush and the wax brush together. So you can use multiple brushes at once. I'm going to turn off the smooth for right now. Just use the draw. We've covered draw in the past, so if you want to learn all about the draw brush, you can. We've gone over that. Pinch is a fun one, so you can also turn on pinch. We're going to cover that more in the future, and it kind of pinches the surface. So right now we're using wax, and we're also pinching the surface at the same time. So it looks a little bit different. Inflate, we're going to cover in the future, but it basically inflates your surface. So you can layer the wax with the inflate, and it'll do a little bit of both, which is kind of interesting. So now we're both inflating and waxing this at the same time. I'm going to hold down shift to smooth. The smooth always works with all the brushes if you hold down shift. So that's basically how the wax brush works. If you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments below. If you have a favorite brush to use, you can also let me know what that is in the comments below. It was really fun 3D modeling with you. And if you'd like to learn more 3D modeling tools, I go over another one each week, and you'll be notified if you hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and 3D modeling with me. I hope to see you here next time on Ambient 3D Animations.